Hello and welcome to this anti-Andy video. Uh, I dealt with a lot of his mistakes when he talks about politics in my last two videos. One is quite long, but I think merits to be heard because being closer to the themes uh, in my job than what than him. I think I pointed serious flaws in his arguments, and I can pinpoint to the propaganda behind them that he is not conscious about. I don't think that he consciously tries to confuse people or lead them towards a certain ideas, but the way he constructs his arguments with flawed uh, associations and murky concepts and mixing ideas that don't go together historically and currently even. Um, he is a useful tool for propaganda. And that's why I need to react to it. The same way as if I had heard some guy playing drums, he told me the way you do it is with your feet. And then I went online and I tried to teach a lesson of drumming with my feet. Somebody like him and others probably would react less nicely than what I do with his tirades and vitriolic um, vents. Uh, Going back to music, I would like to just give my opinion as aficionado, although I've been listening to jazz since I was a kid. I had the opportunity to see um, Satchmo, uh, uh, Thelonious, Dizzy, um, Charlie Mingus, many of the greats in jazz. Not Charlie Parker, but many others of the greats. Because I was born into a family that liked jazz, and one of my best friends was the son of the organizer of the jazz festival of Barcelona during the 60s and 70s. So that was a big influence. And even Ellington's Sacred Concert, in addition to his orchestra. So, and the height of all of it was when I saw Miles playing with B.B. King. That was the best thing I ever heard. So, uh, my take on Allan Holdsworth is that he is not a fusion player because the jazz part is not there. He doesn't swing. He, to me, he doesn't have groove. He doesn't have blues. He's really a progressive rock uh, player with an extraordinary imagination and creativity and skill. But his aesthetic is 1,000 years away, say, to John McLaughlin, who started with flamenco blues and playing bebop after. So I would say that John McLaughlin is my favorite jazz fusion artist and guitar player, but I would not put Allan Holdsworth with all his virtuosism and creativity in a jazz rock or fusion category, more progressive rock. I think he fits perfectly, say, Soft Machine, who I saw also. So I understand that he's highly regarded as one of the most technically proficient and harmonically advanced guitarists in the history of prog. And there are some issues about his style that for me, I come from blues aesthetic, I miss. One is the lack of emotional accessibility. I find that he's very cerebral, abstract, and emotionally distant. And he even looks like that as a person, but that's not important. He could put all his emotion in the music. He focused on his own very inaccessible harmonic structures, these never-ending scales, fluid legato technique that is very verbose for a jazz musician. I'm sure if Miles had played with him for a minute, he would have told him, stop. And Allan would have said, I don't know how to stop. And Miles would have said, you just put your hands away from the neck of the guitar. So that to me is alienates me. This verbose style. And it's like, okay, we know you can play very fast, but now relax and show me what you really feel. He's not emotionally direct or blues infused like the John McLaughlin, who has a tremendous personality, knows when not to play, when to comp, when to play a kind of music or another. He can play everything. I remember one TV appearance in one of the major programs in the US where he played Cherokee, but he played in McLaughlin style, and yet it was Cherokee at the same time with an acoustic guitar. So, and even people like contemporaneous like Jeff Beck even has I prefer him in his phrasing. uh, and he's not my favorite, but even in that generation of British guitar players, he's my least favorite of the rock, and I like even better Robert Fripp, who to me is the most clear antecedent of Allan Holdsworth. He was really unclassifiable in the first Crimson records. And this harmonic density and and extraordinary fluidity looks like a technical demonstration more than his true emotional expression, as some critics said some time ago. And his tone is monotonous. I mean, compare, say, to a blues guitar player who's very unique and distinctive, usually in tone and dynamics, and McLaughlin has that as well. He's monotonous, and you don't feel these dynamics. So the legato technique is linked to a processed tone, and his volume sets and chorus heavy effects usually lack dynamic variation. And many people love this horn-like quality that he achieved. Once he said, "I'm not a guitar player, I should be a horn player," or something like that. But that is a limitation of his dynamic range and rhythmic articulation, so to say, in my opinion. It's undeniable, it's true that he's unique and impressive, but after 20 minutes, you want him to stop or change or tell him, stop a little bit, there are other musicians around, or play your notes differently, or you won't get hurt if you try to bend the note, something like that. And his melodies in general, unless they are very rock riff based, they are difficult to remember. If there is something universally common in the appreciation of music, is the repetition. But his extreme complexity in our harmonically doesn't allow to any hook that's melodic or any repetition that you can grasp. He never sings to me. I don't have a similarity with blues-based. I mean, I would take 1 second of George Benson over 1,000 hours of Allan Holdsworth. He doesn't fit either the swing, the blues, the big band, the bebop, the post-bop, or the modal um, musicians like Coltrane that develop melodies that have some cohesion, right? Even free jazz musicians have melodies, or those that have elements of free jazz, like, say, Joe Lovano, or my favorite Gato Barbieri when he plays Latin American. Uh, so there are like endless streams of notes with very little melodic ground or things for the one who wants to listen to attach yourself to that you could remember. Uh, uh, that's the impression. And as a composition, I don't find it so attractive. The fact that you're complex doesn't necessarily mean that you have musicality. Uh, it's these chord voicings that how that are so unique that mix chords or scales that add notes outside the scale. So almost it seems like he's playing only one scale all the time. They don't match the lyrical strength of that improvisation requires. It's just vehicles for endless soloing than, say, uh, tunes, ballads or blues-based tunes. It's just strange harmonics as an excuse for strange scales. Um, it takes a lot of guts to be like that, but and that's have to admire that honesty, but it leads a feeling, although I'm sure he wasn't trying to do that, a very elitist type of music that will appeal to a guitarist or that when they approach him feel that they are at the top of mastery of their instrument and music and feel superior to the general audiences or musicians that play music that is more uh, not necessarily even commercial, but that has a wider audience. This is it's great that there is people that like that, but I think he could not have it both ways to be like that and then expect that a larger audience would appreciate it, especially in even in jazz rock and fusion, because as I mentioned, I think that he is really a progressive rock guitarist, but I don't see any jazz in his playing. So he redefined what's possible with a guitar, with his harmonies, the skill of the legato phrasing, the speed, hand positions and the strange compositions. But his appeal will remain very limited, I'm sure, outside elite musicians that care about complexity for complexity's sake and speed and skill for its sake as well. So that's all I have to say. And I hope that you can judge. Listen to Holdsworth and listen to McLaughlin. And listen when McLaughlin doesn't play a lot, like chords with Beach's Brew. And I think you, at least I hope you grab what I'm trying to convey. Again, I'm happy that there are people who enjoy his music, and the talent, of course, is undeniable. But to me, even if he played with Tony Williams, he wasn't a jazz rock musician. He sounded definitely like an extension of a Robert Fripp, progressive rock, a very British type of music. Thank you for listening.